Chicago, 2011. A cop is murdered. Police and prosecutors swear they have the trigger man. He swears he didn't do it. How far will each side go to prove they're right?
Like it's just one bombshell after another, where you're like, what?
The story of a PlayStation, a brain-eating amoeba, and the relentless pursuit of justice. Off Duty, out now. Listen wherever you get your podcasts.
This message comes from Jackson. Taxes aren't something you can only think about once a year. With investments, planning for tax day is year-round. Fortunately, Jackson offers tax-efficient products. Visit jackson.com for more information on how our products can make your tax bill a little bit less painful. Jackson is short for Jackson Financial Incorporated, Jackson National Life Insurance Company, Lansing, Michigan, and Jackson National Life Insurance Company of New York, Purchase, New York.
Hi, this is Hannah Berner from Giggly Squad. Have you ever put on a bra that makes you feel like a goddess? Prepare to be obsessed with the Dream Angels Wicked Bra from Victoria's Secret, the iconic brand behind the world's most comfortable bras. And I only wear the most comfortable bras. The bestseller features an innovative sling for perfect lift without padding, and the fit is chef's kiss. Awaken your inner goddess with new colors and super femme lace embroidery. Find out why this bra has thousands of 5-star reviews and counting. Shop it in stores and online at victoriassecret.com.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Psych Legal Pop Podcast. This is a podcast where we talk about popular culture through the lens of an attorney and a therapist. I'm Tess Brigham. I'm the therapist.
And I'm Brooke Brigham. I'm the attorney.
And we are back with Sister Wives, season 19, episode 577. It just feels like that.
Finished? Are we almost done?
Yeah. Season 19, episode 28. I
don't know. It's the tell-all part 3.
Yeah, the one-on-ones part 3. And I know I felt like of all the episodes that we've watched thus far, this to me felt like the most tell nothing. I mean, and this is the part that just drives me bonkers is how much they focus on things that are really not as important as other things, right? Like this wasn't this episode, but the last one, I was thinking about this, how much Suki kept asking about Janelle and why she didn't want to, do you think you'll be friends with Kody and Robin? Do you think this? Do you think that? It's like, no.
Yeah.
No,
I could have told you that. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's just like, even if Janelle said to us all, yeah, sure, I can get together with them. We all know that's a lie. Mm-hmm. We all know where she stands. So why does she need, right? But why do we need to talk about this? Like, that's very clear. But there's all these other things that are kind of hazy that it would be nice if you guys cleared up. So I don't know. This is it's so frustrating. It is so frustrating to watch. And I'm so done with Kody. I'm so sick of him.
Yeah, I know. I hope that the last one on no they're not what are they calling them?
They're calling them one-on-ones.
Okay. I hope the last one has at least something juicy, something,
or give us some bloopers. I'll take that at this point. Do you know what I mean? Or some highlights or like a song playing over some clips. I mean, just anything but Kody lecturing me or Kody speaking down to everybody and or Robin acting like she is
too cool for school.
Yeah. It's very annoying.
I know. I'm over it. I really am. But I keep waiting. I keep waiting for something, some golden nugget to drop.
Yes. So
but it's sort of interesting just in terms of the timing of this. Okay. So this is recorded in October of 2024. And I guess this is about a month after Christine filed her custody and child support case.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So that probably has something to do with Kody's attitude.
Mm-hmm.
He's worked up, I'm sure. And maybe it has something to do with how Robin is just sort of pissed off, it seems like, and just doesn't care anymore. Like, she's not even trying, none of the crying or wishing things were, better or they could still live plural marriage. She's just kind of like, oh, well.
Yeah.
okay, I guess it's over. And I'm sure she's pissed off about it. And I'm sure she's pissed off about Kody having to pay child support, because there's also a comment that's made later in the episode about how, because of all of this, like the younger kids are somehow not getting it as much as the older kids did, which is ridiculous. The older kids lived in poverty for most of their lives.
Yeah.
So,
well,
whatever.
I know. And that whole thing, I mean, it's so weird how, again, Kody moves things around to work for his own narrative. But, this whole idea of you're a father of 18 kids. You've got to know by now that life isn't fair, that it isn't fair, that how Daddy Logan is treated and how Ariella is treated is always going to be radically different.
Yeah.
And that is just life. I mean, our mother, she has two sisters. They're all 10 years apart in age. So our mother was in college when her younger sister was born. And so, each of them had very
different lives.
They lived very different lives. Our mother lived when our grandfather was in medical school. And then the youngest one, he was already a doctor. You know what I mean? It's very different.
Yeah.
So it's just that stuff. It just bugs me. It's just like no awareness of it. But what I find fascinating about Robin is that all of the tears are gone. Like you're no longer sad about this at all. And I really was hoping that Suki would have said something like, listen, you process your emotions. You cry a lot. What's happened? And now it's this attitude of, well, I can't believe they're still talking about all this stuff. I can't believe like she's with her new husband talking about Kody and luggage racks and all this other kind of stuff. It's like, thank God. Robin, do you not understand how this reality show works? Do you not understand this process? And it's just like, you don't deserve this reality show money.
She's not working for it.
You're not working for it. That's how it works. So you want this show to be watching you paint some benches and talk about how you don't feel safe? Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
So now that you've just dropped all of this, so next season, we're just going to watch you guys in your new home, just bebopping around.
Yeah. I
mean,
again, how much is that mortgage a month? You need the show.
You got to bring something.
I mean, unless people have said like apparently her father or stepfather has money or something, there may be money in that family. Maybe that's true. Maybe she doesn't. But again, they didn't have enough money to help you with your debts when you got divorced the first time. So, okay. But you do need this paycheck and you need these women to talk about this stuff. And so to act like I am so much better than them because they're talking about these things, it's like, then leave.
Yeah. It's like she wants everyone to keep her name out of their mouth.
Yeah.
Okay. Yet she wants to. Okay, well then I guess you can't be part of the show if no one can talk about you.
Yeah, don't be on TV.
What's the point?
Yeah, you don't get to have it both ways.
Yeah.
Anyway, well, let's start with Coyote Pass, and Meri talks about this tension of trying to figure out how to break up the parcels. And I think it was Meri who said, because Suki's like, what's going on? What's so hard? And Mary's like, listen, I think we haven't proven to each other that we can trust each other, that we haven't really had each other's backs for a while, that we have been separated and nobody knows where anybody is. So I don't know.
Well, and then Kody says, I love this. Janelle asks me about the property all the time, but I don't trust her, so I don't give her any information. I mean, does he not? These women's money went into this, and their name is on the title. And he acts like they are just bugging him.
Yeah.
Bugging him about this. And then they show him with the realtor. He's trying to control this sale, telling the realtor to only talk to him, which is unethical for the realtor. I mean, they are on the title. If you're going to convey an offer, someone wants to make an offer on the property, you've got to convey it to all the owners.
Yeah.
And that guy, I think his name is Justin. the realtor. I'm looking at his face and he's kind of looking at Kody looking very uncomfortable because he knows that this is not right.
Yeah, which also makes me wonder, is what happened in real time after that? Did Justin then say, hey, Kody, you can't do it this way. Let me explain that to you. And then did the production cut it out? Right. Because there is always this talk of how close is Kody with the producer,
right?
And how much do they protect Kody? And that's the part when you watch the show, you can see that, oh yeah, maybe you're protecting him. And then other times it feels a little bit like, we're just going to show you everything. You kind of figure it out. Because I mean, unless the producer and Kody are so delusional that all of those scenes of him in Kody, Wyoming were a good idea. I mean, that's how crazy all these people are.
Yeah.
But,
yeah. And Kody tells the camera, they don't legally have to agree, even though they are partners on the other lots. It's just a matter of getting their permission. And again, yes, they do have to legally agree if their name is on the parcel. I mean,
yeah. Well, and so Suki asks, I think it was to Meri, about how like the parcels were broken up, and she said, well, why was this broken up this way? And Meri's like, I don't know. And Meri's admitting this now because she wasn't admitting it before, which is I would ask them about it and I would get in trouble with Robin and Kody.
Yeah.
Anytime I asked or tried to press, I would get into trouble. Again, this is what they do in cults. I'm dead serious, right? And controlling things. You start to question. The minute you start to question, what's happening? How fair are things? Yeah. And speaking truth to what's really going on, you're in trouble and you're shut down.
Yeah. So, another gem just before we move on. Something Kody said, when he was with the realtor, he tells the camera, he says, I see it very differently than those complaining about the money. I can add up all the things that were paid by somebody else for something. Okay. I mean, just those complaining about the money. And he and Robin, they just feel entitled to all of this.
Yeah, they do. They feel very well. This is what Janelle says. She says, I also asked him about Coyote Pass. And Janelle says, Kody thinks he's entitled to more. He is inherent. Was he the one that was it Christine or Janelle that said he was inherently selfish?
Yeah.
He's inherently selfish. He wants to always come out ahead. He always wants to come out on top.
Janelle said that he does. He's always coming out ahead of financially and always looking out for himself and Robin and feeling entitled. And Janelle says, who's looking out for me?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, your lawyer, hopefully.
Yeah.
They finally did get a lawyer. I guess we never saw them, but.
Yeah.
Well, Christine pipes in and says he's not a very fair person, very greedy when it comes down to money. He takes care of himself and Robin. So I thought that was interesting.
Yeah.
I've never heard them talk so bluntly about this.
Yes. Christine has gone way on to the other side. She has zero F's to give about any of it. She is so happy to trash them. I think Janelle and Meri are tiptoeing a little bit more because they're connected to this, to all of this, to Coyote Pass and all of that. But yeah, again, it's just a classic narcissistic move to, even though you contributed money and your name's on this, I decide how it's going to be.
Yeah.
I get to decide that. And it's like, no, it's not how it works.
Christine basically said that Kody has never been transparent about money, that the wives never knew what each other was getting in terms of money. Except Janelle says she saw it all. But okay, she says Kody and Robin were taking more than anyone else, spending family money on quote unquote assets. Well, Janelle, why didn't you speak up a long time ago?
Yeah. Like, why didn't you get with Meri and Christine the minute you saw this and said, we got to band together?
Yeah.
Why not? That's the part I didn't quite understand. And I think that was the other thing too, is I think Kody had a lot of hold on them.
Mhm.
Again, I mean, Christine talks about sort of, or Janelle is like the love bombing and then coming back and the love
Right.
bombing. I think that when these things would come up, I think Janelle would bring it up. But instead of going directly to Meri and Christine, she would go to Kody, and Kody would, sweet talk her, sell her a bill of goods, and then move on along. And that's that other part too, right? In cults, they make everyone, go against each other. And there is this other part of it too, which is, it seems a little bit like the moment Janelle showed up, it was she and Meri, right, started to have issues.
Mhm.
And were you allowing them to get along? Were you facilitating them getting along, or were you facilitating them fighting?
Mhm.
And is this maybe how you've always made it, so that these women wouldn't be friendly with
Right.
each other?
And compare notes.
Yes.
He
yes.
did not want them comparing notes.
Yes. And that's a big thing, because this is what these guys, they don't want comparison.
Mhm.
They can't,
Yeah, they have to hide. They have to hide. So he pits them against each other, and he's like, well, don't talk to Meri about this, and don't tell Janelle that or whatever, and because this and that, and just manipulating.
So yeah, then Sookie's like, well, they are, the women are saying that they don't trust you. And Cody's like, well, he takes his his new thing now is, it's because they want alimony.
Mhm.
They want alimony. So Janelle and Meri, they want alimony. And, again, okay, is that the end of, I mean, these women were married to you for a long time.
They
Is that wrong?
deserve it. Maybe not legal. Just because they legally can't get it doesn't mean that you don't owe them something.
Yeah. Doesn't mean that they contributed, and doesn't mean that, they weren't part of this. And so, and then he goes into that whole thing about like, no one is helping us with the younger children. Nobody's helping us with the younger children. Essentially, you're talking about two kids
Mhm.
who seem to be doing just fine. So what money are you talking about that so you expect Christine or Janelle or Meri to support these two young children? Isn't that Robin's obligation? Isn't it each wife's obligation to figure out what the kids need, and then and you divide it up fairly?
Well, that's why that's the only reason that Robin and Kody wanted all of them to stay, was to just keep contributing money.
Yeah.
Because, Robin's kids need things. They need a nice big house because they're never leaving home. And they need this and they need that. And Cody's talking about how he made sure that all the older kids he contributed to their cars or whatever. They bought him a $2,000 used car. I mean, that's what they could afford. But I mean, yeah, when you have 18 kids, that's pretty hard. But then he says the first corporate paycheck. So I guess what they're talking about is the first check from TLC.
Yeah.
Robin saw nothing. And when they bought the houses, Robin's kickback went to other family members. So what does that mean? Like,
I don't know. I didn't know if that was Vegas or if that was Flagstaff.
I think he's talking about Vegas, because when they bought the houses. And so it sounds to me like TLC gave them each some sort of kickback, as he's calling it, which is, I mean, they didn't buy the house outright for them, but I think they gave them each X amount of dollars towards the house. And he's saying
in Vegas,
and that her share went to other family members. That's quite an accusation. I mean, that's the thing. He's just rambling. You can tell he's real angry and amped up in this money discussion scene. And he is just throwing out all of these accusations. And he says everyone helped with the older children, getting them cars, getting them through school. Well, we know Meri has said she paid for Leon's education. Now there's nothing left for the younger children. I mean,
well, then here's a crazy idea. Why don't you two go get jobs?
Yeah.
Or I don't know.
Or downsize.
Keep working at the job that you have now, or hustle for some cameos. I mean, I just love how they act like, so what? These people are supposed to keep contributing into, you get to take all of Coyote Pass? Like, it makes no sense.
Yeah, I'm starting to believe that this whole thing, this whole divorce, angst about the divorce from Kody and Robin is purely about money.
I'm sure it is. I do.
that they don't care about these women if they're there or not for any other reason but for money.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So then, we hear from Janelle, who says, we used to, meaning pre-Robin. The other thing is, I want to say, when Kody was talking about how Robin didn't make any money from the first corporate paycheck, she wasn't in the family yet.
No,
Don't forget, Christine's the one that facilitated and created this relationship with these producers. Then you all decided to do the show, and that you happened to be, I think the courting was happening around the same time. She was not a member of this family. So please don't get it twisted that somehow she made some huge sacrifice.
No, she wasn't on the contract. She was not on the contract. She was just there because she was there. She was courting Kody. But yeah, if people don't know this, Christine was working for some kind of organization that was trying to work at getting polygamists portrayed in a better light in the media or something. And she actually hooked up the family with this production company. Trying to find a family. They had this idea to follow a polygamous family. And of course, Kody was all over that, being on TV. And I think it was just coincidence. Robin just happened to be there.
When's Christine's book coming out? September?
September.
Oh, I cannot wait. I hope she spills every last piece of tea and she goes all in. I really do. I hope she talks about all of it.
Typically they start these, this has been a long season, but because there was a break in the middle there, but typically they start the new season of Sister Wives in August. Maybe early September. If her book's coming out in September, I wonder, either she timed it that way for like the new season, or maybe do you think, is this her last season? You think she's coming back?
Oh.
And she just timed the book to come out because she's not coming back?
I get what you're saying. I don't think the new season's going to come out then. I don't think we're going to get a new season until 2026. That would be my guess. But I could be wrong. I don't know. I don't quite even understand why this season was as long as, you know what I mean? Or why they took the break or any of it. I really don't know. Anyway, so we go through this whole thing about, Meri talking about how much she's contributed, which I would love to get a forensic accountant in and just get them to break it all down. Because I would love to be able to see the numbers of how much Meri contributed versus Robin versus Christine.
I think Meri contributed the most.
Yeah.
Because she had a she got in on LuLaRoe like very early. I think she has a huge downline. And she just hustled. She's a hustler, and she didn't have kids at home. She had a lot of time to, so I think it was her for sure.
Yeah. So, and then Kody's like, hey, it'll all be fine in the end. Sex and money, they are sacred cows. I don't know why we keep talking about sacred cows, but now they are on the table. And he kind of makes this almost this thing of like, when we started the show, we told you we weren't going to talk about sex and we weren't going to talk about money. And now this is all we're talking about. But when it comes to marriage, that's it. That's what it's about. It really is. It's about, because those things are the basis of sex, meaning how much are you paying attention to me? How much are you, making me feel satisfied and seen? That's one part of marriage. And then the other part of it is, how are you supporting me? How are we supporting each other to live our lives? That's everything. So,
but then but he goes on to keep talking about money.
Yes.
And he says, no one understood the bookkeeping. We were all entangled with each other in this strange way. The debts hadn't been paid and they had to be paid. Janelle didn't handle the debts properly. She had too much influence on our money. So now
which is a lie.
He's throwing Janelle under the bus.
Yes.
She wasn't paying the bills. And she's saying, no, I was just, keeping the records. Kody told me what bills to pay
because I don't think Kody has saved for anything in his life. And I think that's the problem is that you guys for a long, long time did not have a lot of money. I think that if Kody wanted something, he was never going to save up for it. And I think what he's really alluding to is, I was constantly moving money around
Mm-hmm.
And I never knew where it was coming from or where it was going. And we never, ever had enough. And so that's the creative bookkeeping that he's referring to. And, but yeah, I mean, Janelle's like, yeah, we didn't have a lot of money. So we just spent the money where we needed to. But it sounds like he was always doing kind of weird things. And it sounds like what Janelle was saying was like, he would see large chunks of money gone in the account and she would just kind of have to deal. And then anytime Christine or maybe Robin or Meri complained, he would blame it on Janelle. I don't know.
And thereby further contributing to the bad relationships.
Yes.
That he did not, again, he did not want them to have good relationships.
Because Meri said that she was under the impression that it was always Janelle making the financial decisions. And Sukanya asks her, how do you know that? She's like, well, Kody and Robin told me that. They told me that she's the one making the decisions. And I don't think Meri's lying about that at all. So obviously you guys are liars.
Yeah.
Big fat liars.
Yeah, they are. And so this is all coming together, making a lot of sense now. Because if you're feeling like I'm not getting enough money or my needs are not being met, and then Kody saying, well, it's because Janelle, she's really bad with money and she's not spending the money right. And that's why we don't have any money.
Or Janelle thinks that we should spend money on my new car, Janelle feels like it's a priority that I have a new convertible.
Yeah.
I mean, he could, or not that blatant, but like he could be finessing it that way too.
Right.
So yeah, Kody blamed her for everything. And this is where Janelle talks about, she's like, yeah, he attacks us where it hurts. He knows exactly where to attack. Christine, it was all about being loved and her looks and wanted and desire. For me, it was about being fiscally responsible and being together. I don't know what the Meri one was. I don't know what Meri's was. I mean, maybe Meri's was about, everyone's mentioned always loyalty.
Yeah.
You know, maybe it was that, like, not calling her loyal anytime she wasn't happy.
Well, because he really took that, because after the catfishing thing, he had a big, hammer to hammer her with this loyalty thing, Yeah. But she had been quote unquote mean before. So he had that, remember? Because he gave her that list of things she had to do before the catfishing. Right. And you know what? Robin has learned a new phrase, recency bias. Oh, yes. Kody, I think, taught her that phrase. Yes. He used it recently. Yes. So, yeah. Well, Christine says nothing but nasty things about Kody. She's like, Kody knows how to push anybody's buttons. He can't take accountability. And Robin goes, no. I think this is all recency bias. There's a lot of history being rewritten. I'm like, yeah, by you two. And she makes this claim of like, everyone's getting even with each other, trashing each other. But because you're not doing it at all, you're so above all of this. And, again, what trashing Kody would be is he sucked in bed. This big, like being like, that's a way to trash him. Absolutely. You could try, or he's his this looks even there are a million things you could trash him about, and we can talk about the luggage cart when we get there, but like the luggage rack, that wasn't trashing him. It's a symbol of how they felt in the relationship. Yeah. Well, and also, Robin doesn't need to trash talk other people because she has Kody to do it for her. Yes. So she can just sit there all demure and, I don't care. Whatever. Well, also, if your needs are being met, what do you need to trash? Right. That's what they're saying. Your needs, that's the thing. Your needs were being met. And again, and what Kody always wants to bring it back to is they're jealous because I fell in love with Robin. I fell in love with her and we are so in love and blah, blah. It's like, you guys really need to shove this down our throats so much about how much in love you are. But anyway, so sorry, I got distracted. About each other's love and how much they need to prove to each other that they love each other. But that's the part. This is the part I think that that's truly cruel about Robin,
is that not for one moment as a woman, she could not stop and think to herself, yeah, that must have been really hard for Christine to hear that, to experience that. Or, I feel very lucky because he's giving these things to me.
She has no empathy.
She has no empathy. Zero. Anyway, so this is where Janelle talks about the cycle of love bombing and then the wind down. And she's like, well, I'm not a doctor, but since the internet has diagnosed him with narcissism, and he pretty much checks every box. I mean, personally, again, I don't know if you would diagnose him as like narcissistic personality disorder, but he certainly has a hell of a lot of the traits. Mm-hmm. So, anywho. But yeah, this I thought was interesting. So then Christine talks about how just this realization over the years of realizing, like, what kind of marriage do I have? Mm-hmm. And she says, I didn't think of our relationship as being just surface level all the time before Robin. And then I saw what real intimacy was. Mm-hmm. And, it hit me that's that's what I want. So of course, what are these women going to do? They're not going to go, well, fine, I'm leaving this marriage. They have all these kids, their whole livelihood, everything's interconnected to staying in the family.
Right.
So of course their reaction is going to be to try to figure out how to get what Robin has.
Right. Yeah. No, it's like Christine had no idea what it meant to be in love, what any of that meant to be, have a romantic relationship, be desired, nothing. Mm-hmm. And I think, is this where she says they had sex like 5 times a year?
Yeah. She said it was apathetic sex life, marital obligation. Sex was never good. Because I'm sure Kody, was doing the best he could, thinking about Robin or thinking about something else. And then, God. Yeah. And then, she then said they had one conversation about it. And I think that was the conversation that was like, she finally, after 20 some odd years, like puts together the courage to have this uncomfortable conversation about something that I'm sure he's like constantly shut her down about. Mm-hmm. It was like, no, we're not gonna, because,
Yeah, the intimate marriage. She finally, confronted him with, are we ever going to have an intimate marriage? Mm-hmm. And when she first started saying that, I didn't really understand what she meant. Now I understand what she means.
You didn't know what she meant about the intimate marriage?
Well, I didn't know that they literally had like no intimacy. I just thought it meant that like they'd had no intimacy ever. I thought she meant that, things had progressively gotten worse over the years or something, but they did at one point, because people were always talking about how, kind of cute and goofy and silly they were. And, Christine was fun. And you could even see it in some scenes where there was a few years in there in Las Vegas where, they were kind of flirty and whatever. So I didn't realize that what she meant was they never had intimacy, like true intimacy.
Yes.
Ever.
So they very rarely had sex, it sounds like, that part, but they didn't have like true intimacy.
Yeah.
And, yes. And it sounds like she really she thought they had intimacy.
She didn't know anything else. She didn't know any better.
And then she was like, oh, okay. Yeah. So, and then we went through this whole thing with David and Christine, where Christine's like, when she decided that she, the next person that she was going to be with, that she was definitely going to have sex with them before marriage, which,
that's what you should do.
You're no longer in this church. You're no longer, you're 50 some odd years old and you have 6 kids.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone's going to look at you sideways, Christine. And then we see all these scenes of Christine and David and kissing and making out. And, this whole section just warmed my heart. I swear to God, I teared up at one moment because when she said, what's the difference? And she's like, I feel confident. And David, and what you really realize is like, yeah, Kody, every time Christine like woke up and said, I have this idea to do X, Y, and Z, it sounds like Kody was like, yeah, that's stupid, or that's dumb, or you can't do that, or whatever, or negative, or gone. And what David said is, he's like, yeah, I make her believe in herself. So, David, I love David.
He's just a mensch. He's great.
Yeah. But just the fact that he is so, again, I know some people don't particularly like him all that much, but I just think like he is a good person.
He's a good person.
He's really a good person. And he obviously loves her. And it's like, yeah, I make her believe in herself. That's huge. That is huge, especially in a marriage. Like your partner has to be your champion. You know, if I had started this podcast and Steve's like, this is dumb. You shouldn't be doing this. This is stupid. You know, I mean, imagine that versus, him going, no, absolutely. I'll help you. Whatever you need, So it just makes me so happy that she has him and that they're having a great time. So anyway, Psych Legal Pop, we'll be back after these messages.
This message comes from Jackson. Taxes aren't something you can only think about once a year. With investments, planning for tax day is year-round. Fortunately, Jackson offers tax-efficient products. Visit jackson.com for more information on how our products can make your tax bill a little bit less painful. Jackson is short for Jackson Financial Incorporated, Jackson National Life Insurance Company, Lansing, Michigan, and Jackson National Life Insurance Company of New York, Purchase, New York.
Chicago, 2011. A cop is murdered. Police and prosecutors swear they have the trigger man. He swears he didn't do it. How far will each side go to prove they're right?
Like it's just one bombshell after another, where you're like, what?
The story of a PlayStation, a brain-eating amoeba, and the relentless pursuit of justice. Off Duty, out now. Listen wherever you get your podcasts.
But she was, yes. And then this is where David said she was starving for affection.
Yes, we know, David. We know. We've seen it.
I think he was. I think he was,
He was too. He had been alone for a very long time and single father. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think he was, I imagine, because his wife, I think, had mental health issues. His ex-wife, his former wife, had widow. He's a widower, right? So she had mental health issues, and I'm sure he felt that too. Maybe he never felt he could be close to her. I don't know. So I'm just so happy for them. It's truly such luck that, she definitely defied all of the statistics of women, that age and coming out of a marriage and all of that. She really did. So anyway, all right. So the next section is we have to talk about PDA. Robin is okay with PDA, but she was just saying that Kody's level of PDA and her level of PDA are very different because I don't know. She didn't get into that, but I think we all know, like she's a little bit more reserved and Kody's like licking crap.
She's shy. She's, his shy wife.
Yes, this very shy wife. And Kody's there licking lollipops and ice cream cones and God knows what else. Okay, so now here's the next part, right? The whole PDA thing. Kody says, Janelle's mom, my stepmother, told me to cut out the PDA with Meri in front of Janelle. And so he basically says, we don't do this PDA. We never had it or we didn't do it because essentially it's not my fault. It's Janelle's mom's fault or Janelle's.
Yeah, so this set a precedent for the next, 20 something years. And it's like, okay, wait a minute. And Grandma Cheryl is not alive to defend herself here.
Yeah.
I kind of don't believe this story so much because why? Yeah. I don't know. And Grandma Cheryl came to this religion late. It's not like she'd grown up like fundamental, like super fundamentalist, whatever. You know what I mean? Like she had a life before. She was in the Mormon church, but I think she would have thought that it was healthy to express. I mean, obviously you don't want to be like, French kissing in front of her or whatever, but it's like, you can't, nothing,
Well, and I think it sounds like based on the book and the Becoming Sister Wives book and what they're saying here is I get the sense that what happened was that he and Meri were very demonstrative, that they were like sticking each other's tongues down each other's throats.
Like she was sitting on his lap and
it did bother Janelle. And I would not be surprised if Grandma Cheryl had said, you know, hey, do you ever notice that maybe, you know, she might have just through the back door kind of pointed out. And I could see Kody being like, well, fine, I'm just going to not do it anymore. Fine. You know, like any kind of
overreaction,
any kind of feedback feels like criticism to him.
Yeah.
And that's a very classic thing. When you can't take accountability for things and you can't take it on feedback, these things it always feels like a complaint versus, hey, I've noticed, you know, I'm noticing. How do you feel about that? That kind of thing. So,
yeah, that makes more sense.
But then Robin's like, well, I was told I needed to conform to this all happened before I got there. So I needed to conform to the family culture.
Yeah, she wanted some PDA.
Oh, yeah. Because she knew she was going to get it.
Yeah.
You know?
She didn't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
But God, can you imagine if they did have PDA? And then of course, he's giving Robin more. And then...
Oh, hey, Meri.
And Christine is not even looking at her. So that probably would have created a lot of problems because he wouldn't have been equal with it.
Yeah. I also think there's a certain amount of PDA, right? Like I cannot stand those couples that are like always making out and you're like, we're having dinner. Like, can the two
where
of
do you see? I don't see like adults over the age of, 20 doing that. Where do you see people doing that? Like at dinner parties? I don't.
Not so much dinner parties, but I've had friends over the years that, I mean, obviously we were much younger. Everybody our age now, like the people that I get together with, like who are all 50 and above and have been married forever. No, people are affectionate, but there's none of that. But yeah, I mean, I remember like couples, again, they would kiss at dinner or, make out or do whatever. I mean, I've seen it.
Wow, I've never seen that.
Yeah.
I mean, people maybe kiss like a quick little kiss, like a peck, but like full blown open mouth kissing, making out.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's been a while, but I think there's a difference between like you and your partner out for a romantic dinner. And maybe you might kiss and be affectionate with each other, just the two of you. I'm talking about like, there's other people here. And you can keep your hands off of each other.
Okay.
I don't know.
I just haven't seen
during
that in
the
a long
meal.
time. I haven't seen that since I was like in my 20s.
Well, anyway, I don't know. I guess I haven't seen a couple in a long time do that. I mean, maybe once you leave your 20s and 30s, it just doesn't happen anymore. It's a young man's game.
It is.
Okay. Okay. So what was this all about? Where Kody says the last time Robin and I had PDA, we were kicked out, but I can't talk about it.
Kicked out of where? I mean,
and then he said something until Janelle and Meri are married themselves, I won't show affection to Robin in front of them.
you don't even see them. So
yeah, I don't know.
Why is that even an issue?
So he alludes to the story. It sounds like he's saying that he and Robin, quote unquote, got in trouble. So I bet you anything at one of these weddings, something that the two of them maybe were being super affectionate. And again, maybe someone came around and said, hey, you really think that's appropriate? Or maybe they made a comment and he takes it as, well, fine, I'm taking my ball and I'm going home. Every time anybody ever gives him any feedback, anything, he's just on them. So, but then I wrote this is a quote from Kody Brown that I'm trying to understand. Because when true love is exposed, it calls down wrath. The world hates true love so much.
Wow.
Because when true love is exposed, it calls down wrath. So again, he's making this all about himself. Once they knew, so every hurt, every bad decision, everything that you have ever done as a partner, as a husband, as a friend, Kody, you don't have to take accountability for any of it because you fell in love. And this is right. Like,
and it's not his fault that he fell so deeply in love and that everyone's like yucking his yum, the wrath. They're coming down on him. Like, how dare you?
Yeah.
How dare you
demand information about a property that you put money into and your name's on the title? I'm in love.
Yeah.
I'm in love.
Yeah. Don't bring your wrath down on me.
But yeah, basically, because this way, again, no, he doesn't have to take accountability for anything he's done because, and again, and this is the part that really bugs me is, again, and it's so misogynistic because God forbid you, Kody, did not shine your light on these other women. So therefore they are so depressed and unhappy that they don't get that Kody Brown loving anymore. They don't get you. That they now have created all of this, that they're just a bunch of shrews that, couldn't possibly at all imagine their life without you. I mean, this is really what he's saying.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Quite full of himself.
All right. So do you have, I keep talking a lot.
No, keep going.
Notes? Okay.
No, keep going.
I'm just going through my notes. So then we get to Meri and she's talking about her relationship with Robin. And I think we get to see them that moving day, which I wish Sukanya had asked her, like, did it piss you off? Did it piss you off that she did not help you at all move? She comes in, dumps all of this crapola on you, and then you're moving and she gives you one more thing to pack.
Right. And she gives you that ugly junk journal that apparently retails for like, on Etsy for like $150 or $200.
Are you serious?
Yes. Oh like because they're custom made. And another podcaster went on there on Etsy and looked up.
I think, did we talk about this before? I think we did. I think Amy on Little Miss Recap was the one that I saw about how much they spent on those, how much Kody spent on the Valentine's Day gifts for her, $4,000.
David Yurman, yeah.
So, and that's the other part of it too, is what economic bracket are you in?
Yeah.
To spend that amount of money? And again, I would love to see, like, how are you doing any of this? But they really, I wonder if they're in a tremendous amount of debt. No, they couldn't be.
Look,
if they bought that house, there's no way they could have gotten a loan if their credit was terrible or they're in a lot of debt.
There's creative financing, and I don't know, maybe they put down the minimum. I don't know. This is the thing, but Kody has always found a way to rob Peter to pay Paul, and he's always found a way to get what he wants, despite not, here's this man who's, children barely have enough to eat, and he's driving around in a convertible, with his nice crisp shirts. And, there was always a disconnect between Kody's lifestyle and the family, what the family had.
Yeah.
So, they're probably in a lot of debt. Look, this is TLC. They don't pay a ton of money. How long can this show really go on? He's just being fiscally irresponsible by spending $6,000. There was a necklace and earrings. I think it was like $6,000 total.
Oh, really? Because I thought like one was like $1,500 and the other one was $2,500 or something like that.
Maybe $4,000. But I'm sorry, it's Valentine's Day.
Yeah, again,
you've been married a long time. It's like, what are you doing?
Yeah, I mean, this is what millionaires, billionaires will do. That makes sense.
Yeah.
But again, I've never exchanged a gift with Steve that expensive for Valentine's Day. I mean, the things that expensive, you need to talk to the person.
Yeah, because they're spending your money.
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
So Meri goes into this whole Robin relationship, right? They were very close in the beginning, but then they drifted apart, and they were trying to work on rebuilding their friendship. But then COVID happened, and they never got it back. And Sukanya's like, "Well, why do you think Robin was crying on the moving day?" And Meri's like, well, yeah, she realized it was over.
Yeah.
I mean, Meri wasn't directly saying that, but I think it was like she realized that, the money that she was bringing in, everything over.
All of it.
over.
Yeah.
All of it over. And again, the other thing that they're not saying is that, again, the show itself and keeping the show going is also a big factor of all of this. And again, Kody and Robin are the only ones that, I mean, I know Kody does the gun sales and all of that, but like they don't have other, besides that, I don't think they have other side hustles. I don't think they're doing anything else. So I think there's a lot of anxiety and fear around, like, you know, will the show continue to work? But
absolutely.
So Robin says that when she moved, when Meri moved, oh, that's right. So Robin now is taking the position of, well, I've been dumped by Meri. You know, when she moved, we talked about getting together. We talked about connecting. And, you know, I saw that she was going to be here in town and I reached out to her and I called her and I didn't get a response back. And, you know, well, I don't know, you know, poor me. I'm such a good friend. I've been reaching out to her, even though we lived in the same town and I never reached out to her. But now that she's moved away, I've been reaching out to her and
knowing
I guess
that
she doesn't.
She can't. Yeah, knowing she's really not going to have to get together with you because she doesn't even live in the same town.
Yeah. And then this is where Christine gets into the whole thing. Again, I really hope Christine talks about this in her book where she's like, she flat out says it. She's like, Meri, you know, was led on this whole time. You know, Robin is there telling Meri that Kody is still in love with you. And, you know, here's Meri who she was like, good for her friends. Her friends were telling her the truth. And of course, Kody has to then rip on Jen because Jen is jealous of Robin.
What?
Because Robin isn't a threat. She is safe.
Okay.
All right.
Whatever that means.
So again, you put down those who encourage, again,
Meri.
Yeah, Meri. So Meri's friends that encourage her to be herself, stand on her own 2 feet, love herself, are jealous of Robin. But Robin, who says you should stay put, even though you two know, Kody, she shouldn't. Okay, got it. So Christine goes into this whole thing of like, Robin was manipulating Meri. It was very hard to watch those scenes. I think she says, you know, was Robin a good sister wife because she kept telling Meri to keep holding on, right? What does it mean to be a good friend? If you are truly a good sister wife and a good friend to someone, do you, seeing that situation, what do you do?
Yeah, you tell them to stay in a situation that they're obviously miserable and being treated disrespectfully. That's not a good sister wife.
Yeah. So then Meri talks about how, right, and this is Meri's worthing up. It's happening, people. It's all coming together because she said, I'm sick of taking the blame. Because I guess it sounds like, was this where he called her up again and wanted to have like a whole, wanted to kind of, I think she talked about this last time where Kody called her up and kind of started dumping on her. And she was like, I'm not your wife anymore. You got to back up.
He was having a hard time, you know, processing their divorce.
But Meri's like, I kept taking the blame for everything. And, you know, that she was pissed. It sounds like with that goodbye that Robin was putting this on me. Like, so now take all, you know, all this unhappiness and also right, that feeling of it took a lot for Meri to make this decision. She's moving. It's emotional. And then Robin coming and basically saying, you know, almost reminding her of it and almost like, again, putting the responsibility back on Meri of like, you know, you're leaving the family, you're going. Anywho. And so basically Meri's like, I'm not taking it anymore. I'm not going to be your punching bag. All right. So now we get to the luggage rack situation. And so Janelle, so they all ask about the luggage rack and Janelle, was laughing and she's like, yeah, when Christine and I were comparing notes, it was really funny. And Janelle says, this is a token, right? This is really showing you who he is and how he thinks. And again, Kody's like, Janelle will always be jealous of Robin. And then he goes into this whole thing about how when Christine and I got married, there was no luggage rack. we were in a car. We were in a 4-door sedan. And Sukanya is like, yeah, but did you not stay at a hotel or a motel? She's like, yeah, we stayed at a hotel motel. And she's like, okay. And did they have a luggage rack? Like, he could not even.
He didn't even know what she was. He thought she was talking about a luggage rack on a car.
Yeah. Yeah.
I guess he didn't listen to the show very carefully because they clearly talked about how Janelle had to put her suitcase on the floor.
Yes.
So,
and then he goes, and then again, no accountability, no willingness to say, yeah, I guess I was selfish with them. I didn't even realize it. You could just say, I didn't even realize it. I didn't. But then he goes into this whole thing of like, well, I really hope they find happiness because the constant comparison is going to ruin their lives. Kody just read that quote from Teddy Roosevelt that comparison is the thief of joy. So he's decided that these women are so petty and they're such losers and they're so jealous and they're so petty that they care about a luggage rack. And even Robin's like, this is so stupid. And he asks, well, do you get the luggage rack? Yes, she does.
Yeah, that's why she doesn't get it.
Yeah. So let's see. And then Meri talks about like, I don't want to complain. I don't want to complain. Comparing Kody to other men. And then this, I think at the end, they're kind of getting into this whole thing about, Kody was talking about like, why is Christine and Meri too? Why is Christine complaining to David about Kody? Is that healthy? Is that they're sort of judging her for that? Again, I think they're trying to make a good freaking show for us. I think Christine's thinking about like, what's entertaining?
Yeah. What else do we have to talk about? And also too, Christine has the right to tell her new husband about her past and paint a picture for him so that he can understand what she's been through, where she's coming from, help to know her better. And and hello, Kody, like you and Robin don't talk about everybody. You don't, I mean, please. And you're on a show. You have to provide content.
Yes.
What are we supposed to just all sit here and stare at you while you all say nothing and don't say anything about anybody else?
Yeah. We need to watch your stage scenes. And again, what have we gotten from you? You guys assembled a dresser.
Yeah. A vanity.
A vanity. I'm sorry. You painted some benches,
some picnic tables.
You two in your upscale casual outfits. You've been doing gardening.
They went to Josephine's a few times.
Yeah, and that's it. That's all we've seen.
And they went to Kody, Wyoming.
Yes.
No, every single one of their things is staged. There was an episode, I think it might have, I don't know if it was this season or last season, where they're all playing some board game downstairs.
Yes. In this tiny little room they're all crammed into.
Because they didn't want to film in the big living room with all the, that
expensive art
on the wall. So they don't show us anything. They don't give us anything. Like if it weren't for these other women willing to talk and bring it and actually truthfully show us what they're doing because they all are, even Meri, I mean, she is showing us what she's doing.
Yeah.
She's putting it out there. They're not showing us anything.
Yeah. And that's pretty much it. I didn't write down what's happening next week because I was like, oh God, how much more? I mean,
I couldn't take it anymore.
Where are we going with this? Why do we need 4?
I don't know. There better be like some zingers next week, because if they drag this out for 4 episodes, they better finish strong.
Yeah, there has to be something, because usually if there's 4 reunions, it means that something major happened.
Yeah.
On the last episode or something, or So yes, you're absolutely right. There needs to be a big finish. There needs to be something good. And I personally, I think the best thing that could happen to the show is another production company takes over, someone who is not so close with Kody. And I have heard from some people that saying that apparently there are new producers
Yeah,
and they aren't as close to Kody.
Yeah, I don't think Tim Gibbons is involved any longer.
Yeah.
I think it's a new production company, but I'm not 100% sure. That's just
so. What I don't understand is why can't this production company say, listen, this is a reality show and the show is really about this family and the family interacting. I know everyone lives in different places, but you all have to be in the same room with each other, or you all have to go out to dinner. You have to meet with Nancy, the therapist again. Like, what? I don't understand that. Like, these producers have a lot of power. So why, then you're all going to refuse to do that?
The thing is, they need more characters. They need to get more of the adult children involved.
Yes, that's true.
So now that Janelle's up there, she's living with Maddie and Caleb. So they're there. I think Peyton moved to North Carolina.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
And I don't know if he's close to them or where he's living. And McKelty and Tony moved there, but they live in a different town. But I mean,
Wait. McKelty and Tony moved to North Carolina too?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So they have a bunch of family there now. So production wise, because that's another thing. It's expensive to have to be filming in all these different locations and stuff. So they have enough people there. And like, if they can get Janelle and Christine's adult children to kind of participate more. Husband is about to have a baby. Like, there's a storyline. You know what I mean? We gotta do it because it is kind of fizzling out because the family is just not this big family anymore.
Well, no, you're right, because the adults, they need to start paying these kids because it's not fair that you haven't been paying them. And right, I would like to see Savannah. She's now in North Carolina.
She's in North Carolina too.
Yeah. What is your life like? Like, I would love to hear from her about what are you doing? How was school? What's it like for you? Do you miss Flagstaff? Like, also, her brother and everything that they've been through. Like, I just would want, that's interesting. I would like to hear about how those kids are doing and how everyone's doing. So listen, maybe the whole show will be all just in North Carolina. Who knows?
Yeah, but I don't know to what extent these adult children even want to be on the show anymore or be involved anymore. I don't know.
Yeah.
I saw a weird clip of McKelty and Tony doing their Patreon, and what they were basically doing is they were watching, I don't know if it was one of the episodes or one of the tell-alls, and Avalon is sitting there with them, and she's like pointing at the TV. She's going, "Who's that?" And McKelty had this real weird dour look on her face, like real solemn. And she's like, "Oh, that's Grandpa." And she's like, "Grandpa?" And
David?
Yeah, exactly. Because I couldn't see what was on the TV screens. I'm not sure exactly what was on there, who it even was. But and then she said the name Kody. And she's like, "Kody." She turns to McKelty and she says, "Do you remember Kody?" It was like this really, innocent, and then she turns to Tony. She's like, "Do you remember Kody?" It was just like, what is happening here? And a lot of people were criticizing her for, why are you subjecting your child to this? Clearly, Avalon doesn't even know what's going on. But yeah, I don't know if they should be watching this show with her. And, they were sort of semi-commenting. I don't know. It was weird. It was strange.
Is she giving any juice? Because I used to watch some Gwen's, but it was just so hard. It was like, where's the juice? Like, there
wasn't a lot.
The meaty details. And I think that's the problem is, right, the show's not going to pay you. So you have to have some other thing going on, like a podcast or a Patreon or something like that, right? To see this as, okay, this is free publicity to get people to do this over here. So then I'm willing to show up on the show. But yeah, it's how much do you reveal or not reveal?
Yeah.
Because it does get sticky and you don't know what these relationships are going to be like 5-10 years from now. You and Kody could make up.
Yeah.
Obviously that's what that's the direction that everyone would like to see it move in. No one wants this family to be like this, but Anyway. What a show.
What a show. Okay,
we have one more episode, and then we still don't know what we're doing after that. We don't know if we're going to go back to our rewind or if we're going to pick something else.
Well, we're going to fit. We just started and just like that.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
So I think maybe we're going to do that until it runs its course. And then after that, I don't know. We could go back to the Sister Wives rewatch. But I don't know. I'm feeling like I need a break from Kody.
I really need a break from Kody and Robin.
So we'll see what kind of shows are out there. I don't know. Love is Blind might be coming back.
Ooh, Love is Blind.
One of our other favorite shows we like to cover. So we'll see. So if you enjoy and just like that, that's dropping the same day as these episodes, right? Mondays.
Yeah, they drop Sunday or Monday, but we'll probably do them on Mondays, like after
going forward.
Sister Wives wraps up.
Yeah. And then Thursdays we do documentaries and true crime, but other documentaries. And so please, continue to tune in and let us know.
Yes.
Let us know what you think about continuing on the Sister Wives journey.
Yeah.
If there's
with the rewinds. Yeah.
If you're really into it, we'll rally. If you feel you need a break from Kody, that's understandable.
Yeah. Maybe we all collectively, especially if they're coming back in the fall, we will all definitely need to take a Kody detox.
Yeah.
For the summer.
Yeah.
That's for sure. So, yeah. Okay. Well, thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in. If you haven't already heard, but we're on YouTube. Woo! Woo-hoo. We are now part of the... Is this the 21st century?
Yeah, we're still in the 21st century.
Are we still in the 21st century? Because I heard so much about the 21st century for so long. And then it's like, are we here now?
Yeah, we're here now. We've been here for 25 years.
Yes. Oh, my God. That's insane.
So we have 75 more to go till the next... till the 22nd century. I don't think I'll be alive.
No. All these people are like, I want to live to be 100 and something. I'm like, oh dear God, I'm exhausted now. Like, what more?
Yeah.
Yes. So, I don't know what I was talking about. I was wrapping
about
things
YouTube,
up. So,
we're so hip.
Oh, YouTube. We're on YouTube. That's right.
So hip.
Yeah, I can't remember anything. Yes, we're on YouTube now, and we're on TikTok and Instagram and Facebook and Blue Sky. So check us out there as well. If you like the show, please leave us a 5-star rating and review. We really do appreciate those. Please tell a friend about it, subscribe so that you get all the downloads every week. And if you want even more of us, you can check out our Patreon. You get all these shows ad-free, plus you get a weekly bonus, plus there are some extra things for our higher tier, the $8 tier. Plus, if you're not a Patreon person, I actually just, there's different ways to support us. You can buy a collection or a bundle. We do these exclusive true crime episodes for our Patreon people, and you can, purchase like 7 of them for $5 if you want to listen to all of those. We divided up I did this recently, like the Love is Blind and those seasons, so you could get those ad free, all that stuff. So there's different ways of doing it, but go check us out on Patreon. And I think that's it.
Okay.
Thank you so much, everyone.
Bye.
All right. Bye.
This message comes from Jackson. Taxes aren't something you can only think about once a year. With investments, planning for tax day is year-round. Fortunately, Jackson offers tax-efficient products. Visit jackson.com for more information on how our products can make your tax bill a little bit less painful. Jackson is short for Jackson Financial Incorporated, Jackson National Life Insurance Company, Lansing, Michigan, and Jackson National Life Insurance Company of New York, Purchase, New York.
Hi, this is Hannah Berner from Giggly Squad. Have you ever put on a bra that makes you feel like a goddess? Prepare to be obsessed with the Dream Angels Wicked Bra from Victoria's Secret, the iconic brand behind the world's most comfortable bras. And I only wear the most comfortable bras. The bestseller features an innovative sling for perfect lift without padding, and the fit is chef's kiss. Awaken your inner goddess with new colors and super femme lace embroidery. Find out why this bra has thousands of 5-star reviews and counting. Shop it in stores and online at victoriasecret.com.
Acast powers the world's best podcasts. Here's a show that we recommend.
Hey, it's Christy.
And I'm Kelly.
You might remember us as the OG partners in crime from Dance Moms.
Well, this is Back to the Bar, the podcast where we drag out every insane, chaotic, and iconic moment from the show.
We're spilling the tea, calling out all the BS, and sharing stuff you definitely didn't see on TV.
New episodes drop every week, and yes, we're laughing through the drama.
For once. Follow, grab a drink, and join us as we go back to the bar.
Acast helps creators launch, grow, and monetize their podcasts everywhere. Acast.com.